Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and we're moving on with the Casey Anthony trial. And before I get into the next witness, the defence wanted Casey to be tested to see if she was competent enough to carry on. She was tested by 3 court-appointed psychologists, and the court says that Casey is competent to proceed. I don't know what brought that up. So the next witness is Yuri Melitch again. I mean, I've seen so much of this guy. He comes back in because in his last testimony he misspoke about some cell phone records, and it was about Roy Kronk, and he did subpoena his cell phone records, but only for June. And remember, he is the guy that found Kaylee's remains. Yuri didn't subpoena any cell phone records after June. Why June? Why just June? Yuri is asked if this is the first time he has misspoke on the stand to a jury, and he says yes, which Baez quite obviously doesn't believe. So Yuri says, "Are you suggesting that I purposefully misinformed the jury?" But Baez says he isn't suggesting anything. The one thing I do notice when Yuri's on the stand and Baez is in front of him, I do like how Yuri doesn't allow Baez to make him look like a fool. He doesn't let him intimidate him. But then again, Baez would be a poor defence attorney if he didn't question any mistakes that were made. So Yuri also testified that he didn't subpoena Roy Kronk computer, yet he carried out a search warrant to get a computer belonging to a woman called Joy Ray. This woman claimed to have taken photographs of the area off Suburban Drive. But the best is yet to come with this woman. She had also claimed to be a spy for George Bush. She also had been Baker Acted, which is a Florida law that allows people with mental illnesses to be held involuntarily for up to 72 hours in a mental health treatment facility if they meet certain criteria. Sounds like a brilliant woman. 13th of December 2008. 2 days after Kaylee's remains were found, he received an email from someone called Joe Jordan. He doesn't recall when he handed over this email to the state or the defence, but Baez suggests it was 1.5 years later. So Yuri wants to see the email in question. While they're trying to find this email, Baez tries to keep questioning Yuri, but Yuri will not answer any questions until he's seen the email. I mean, he stuck to his guns with that. He was not going to be pressured into answering questions about an email that he hadn't seen for 3 years. So when he's looked at the email, he still doesn't remember when he turned it over, and Baez is suggesting that he only turned over the email after the defence had found Mr. Jordan, but Baez withdraws the question. So Baez is now asking Yuri if he disclosed any information about what they found at the Suburban Drive site to the Anthonys when he carried out one of the search warrants in December. He says he would have had a conversation with them, but he can't recall any of the specifics that he talked about with them. And he wouldn't have put anything in the report that they talked about unless it was important. He has never deployed a cadaver dog on George or Cindy's cars. It did come up at one point that Casey may have driven Cindy's car, and we found out that it was George that told him that, but it turns out that they couldn't confirm the dates of when that happened. I mean, are these things something they should have done? Would they have made a difference? Would it have strengthened the prosecution's case? I think the prosecution lost the case anyway. I don't know if any more of this evidence, if they'd have done more tests, would it have made a difference? I just don't think the evidence is strong enough. A cadaver dog was never taken into Anthony's home because Yuri never requested it. Casey was arrested on the 16th of July and was out on bond for a short period from late August until October, so a little over a month, and she was electronically monitored, sorry, I was struggling with that word, during that time, so she was under house arrest basically. And Bayer says there was approximately 10 news trucks outside her home most of the time, but Yuri can't obviously testify to that. He knows they were there, but he doesn't know how many. That's just stop there. So the cross-examination. The email from Joe Jordan on the 13th of December was 24 to 48 hours after Kayla's remains had been found. So they were extraordinarily busy with the recovery and had been inundated with countless tips which he had to deal with, being the lead investigator. He had never been told throughout the investigation that George's car smelled like it had a dead body in it, and the same with Cindy's, so, you know, they are explaining why a cadaver dog was never sent to go around their cars. I think there should have been. I think it'd have been, you know, a bit more evidence. The redirect. Joe Jordan had emailed Orange County numerous times, and apparently it was Joe that told Yuri about the blogs Lee had been writing, and he had given him links to them. He doesn't recall if Joe put him in contact with Cindy's brother. See, there's so much that's been done that we don't get to find out about when we are watching a trial. So these little snippets get you thinking, well, hang on, what is not being admitted, what is not being allowed, do you know what I mean? And it's frustrating because, you know, there's more stories, more of a backstory to what has been going on, and probably would explain some things. So yeah, it's frustrating. With regards to Cindy and George's cars, he wasn't given any information that they had 3-week-old trash in the trunks either, and Yuri had no reason to ask, so there we go. Yeah, I think I've given my opinion enough through this one, so I'll be back with more in the next video. Until then, bye for now.